5, 4, 3, 2, 1, sync. What's going on, guys? We're here with BrickFeed. I am your host, EXX Trooper, joined with who?
Meso!
And John!
And
Ven!
Yeah! We're 4 people at the same time talking about Lego stuff. And this is BrickFeed episode 87. And
87.
And it's February 1st. And
February.
yeah, how are you guys doing?
I like that we're able to be heard now. That's pretty nice.
That's great. I hope everyone's enjoying, this live stream. And if it's not live stream, if you're listening to YouTube, I hope you're enjoying it too. So did you guys get any cool Lego stuff? Did you get anything, Ben? I have a feeling you got something, Ben. I just have a
So, I got a new little dragon set. Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Which one? There's so many.
I know, right? They've come out with like 5 of them.
There's a lot more than 5, dude.
10 of them in the past decade. I don't know, but here it's this one. It came out this year. It's pretty cool.
That's cool.
It's red,
It's red, yeah, and it's got like those new Rahkshi pieces from Nexo Knights.
Oh,
that
they
makes
do.
It look even cooler,
but in dark red, huh?
Quite digging that. I also got the new Land Speeder set, or the most recent one, I guess.
Land Speeder. Ooh.
Yeah, man. I've been wanting to pick up some more Star Wars sets lately.
Looking to old trilogy?
Mostly, yeah. I appreciate a lot of original trilogy stuff. Some prequel trilogy stuff I do care about, but if I had to be one or the other,
The real joy is the Rogue One sets. Those are the only ones that matter. That's a joke.
We all went silent because we were like, Meso could ironically really love those
I'm just
sets.
like, did he?
You don't never know with this dude. It's
I know. It's always about the uncommon opinions.
No, go on.
Unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion Meso, which is my new favorite meme. Well, let's keep going.
That meme is the best.
We're gonna talk about it on the TTB podcast, so from the bit.
But yeah, so I got this set because it was still available on Shop at Home, surprisingly. So went ahead, picked that up. Actually just arrived the other day, so
you not built it yet?
Can actually talk about it. Oh yeah, I built it. I built it as soon as it came in. It's a great set. They did a really good job cleaning it up, and the minifigures, I really dig them.
Yeah, the Obi-Wan looks really great here. I really like the look of that.
I'm not sure how to feel about the Tusken Raider with the head. No.
Yeah, I don't feel like they needed that mold.
Robo X returns.
Robo X.
Hello. I have come to conquer the world.
Oh, that sounds so disgusting.
Age of X Trooper. X, say I've got strings on me.
I've got no strings on me. Am I normal now?
No, you're not.
No.
It sounds like someone's farting at the same time that you're talking.
I have no idea how it sounds.
It sounds like X is farting into a fan while talking to us.
Oh no, it sounds like you're talking into a fan. That's what it sounds like.
It does. You're right.
Straight up just talking to a fan. Anyway. But the big thing I got, the real deal.
Big what?
Was not but an older Millennium Falcon set. Now I've been in the market for getting one of the older Millennium Falcon sets. Not UCS, because that would just be like, oh okay, yeah sure, I want to go broke. But I was aiming to pick up the 2015 Millennium Falcon set that came out for Force Awakens. So I've been looking on eBay, and this is where the story kicks in, folks.
All right.
I found a good deal for like $90, whereas every other deal by comparison was like over $150. Bids were high. People, 8 bids or so, and it's going like past 160 or so. It's weird. But I found this go up for one day. Buy it now, $90. I was like, okay, well, I'm doing it. It was kind of like an impulse buy because on one hand, I really wanted to pick it up because I knew I had the money. On the other hand, I kind of didn't want to spend the money, but I saw it. It came with everything, so it's like, okay, whatever. I'm gonna just do it. Not like 2 days later, my uncle decides to come visit, and he brought a gift for me.
Oh boy.
And now, bear in mind, I did not mention to anybody that, aside from maybe you guys, that I was trying to pick up a falcon. Oh, and maybe like a friend or two, but anyway, he brings me the older falcon.
Oh boy.
Already built. No minifigures, unfortunately. But he brought me that. He's got it in this plastic bag. He's like, hey, I got something for you. And I'm like, okay, 1 second. I'll be right there. I come out, see him with the bag. And it's in the shape of like a giant hamburger. And I already know. Like, oh no, don't tell me.
Don't tell me you bought me a giant hamburger.
I can't fit that in my mouth. No, so I go on and wrap the plastic stuff, and there's the falcon, and I'm like, what the, why? And he's like, hey man, I just know how much you like Star Wars, and obviously Lego, and I've had this sitting around for like a month or two. I'm not even gonna lie to you, and I've been contemplating whether or not I should give it to you, but you know what? Nah, you deserve it. I didn't really get you nothing good for Christmas, so here you go. Here's a belated Christmas present. So I'm like, oh, that's so cool. I'm like really excited, and in the back of my mind, I'm like, oh shoot, I already have another Falcon on the way. Like it already shipped. So now I have 2 Falcons.
Which Falcon's there?
Where did he get? Is he like an old collector, or like where did he get the Falcon from?
I think he bought it online, or yeah, he must have bought it online somewhere. But
is he like a semi Lego casual? Like he likes some?
No,
does he have some Lego, or?
He's really into Star Wars, so he originally picked it up just for the novelty because he used to collect Lego a long time ago when he was a teenager, but nowadays not really. He kind of lost his old collection. Part of him was thinking about starting a new collection, as he explained, but then he was like, this thing's really cool. It'd be for a good gift, so he just gave it to me.
Huh.
Yeah, really nice. Love the dude for it, but it got me a little conflicted. So today, I actually just received the other Falcon that I ordered online, and it's the newer one. And It's kind of weird to have like 2 Millennium Falcons sitting in my room. Obviously, I'm not going to keep them both. I'm actually planning to resell the one I got on eBay. And it was such a struggle to decide on which one I wanted to keep. But ultimately, I want to keep the older one because it's like, hey, that one's a gift.
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah, there's a bit of sentimental value to it.
Yeah. It's a bit older, too, so it feels a little bit more authentic. And it would definitely bug me to sell a gift, So I'm keeping the minifigures from the new one.
He's like, where is it?
Yeah, I got all the minifigures with the new one, so I'm keeping those, and I'm just selling the Falcon separately.
Alternatively, you could just sell the minifigures from the Falcon and then buy a third Falcon. That's out there.
No,
no
what am I
reason
going
for you to do that.
Falcons? I don't have room. I barely had room for one.
That's the thing with Lego, as I'm finding as I get more Lego stuff, is that I just don't have as much room for Lego as I thought I did.
Oh, dude, did you know that you can actually pick them apart and they become like these very small pieces? You can put them in like small boxes. It's crazy.
All right, well, X, apparently that takes like freaking 7 days worth of work on Snapchat to get anywhere.
You also can't always
it's been 2 weeks.
Parts.
Yeah, X has a little bit of a story behind that. Go ahead and tell us all about what you've been doing, X, with your spare time.
So what I have done this wasn't actually planned to be like a New Year's resolution thing. It just kind of happened because I got like a bunch of these like storage boxes for Christmas from a lot of people because I just said to anyone who wanted to get me something for Christmas, this is the only thing I want. Anything else, I don't care. Just give something else to someone else. And I got a lot of them, as some I've seen in like my Snapchat and Instagram stories. And I'm basically sorting out my entire collection in terms of weapon types and my entire Lego collection. And it is it's going to take quite a lot of time. It's a 22-year-old collection. I don't know how to describe it in size and scale and anything. I don't really know how it compares to other people's collection, but it's quite a lot. I've been doing it for 2 weeks right now, nonstop every single day, and I'm about 10% in. So at this rate, it will still take quite some time.
I told him to vlog it for you guys, and he said it's too much work. And I said,
it's so much work as it is to actually do it. And if I needed to like stop and vlog everything, I can make a video on it once I'm done and like explain.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
What was the issues? What I had to do, because there's so much thing to figure out in terms of the like the types of where to put them, how to put them, and it's crazy. But I don't know. It's crazy, but I'm finally started doing it, and once I am done, it's going to be a lot easier to build after everything is sorted, because I don't have to use half an hour to like find that one piece.
You're an inspiration to us all, X. I'm doing the same thing with much less success. But so your struggles give me hope.
Give me strength.
So I kind of want to see if I can put my webcam up for this.
Don't do it.
Don't you dare mess with the stream.
I'm not gonna mess with the stream.
It's gonna be ruined.
Here's the issue. Oh, Robot X is slowly. He's coming back.
Hello,
Robo X.
No, that's your plans for world domination. Go up.
First, every burger will.
Oh, that sounds disgusting.
It got progressively worse and worse.
So wait, let me just say real quick. You know what you need, X? So someone posted in the chat. It's like this Lego tape that you can buy at stores or like online.
What?
Yeah, man. So it's not obviously not made by Lego.
Oh, I could have gotten you some free stuff. They offered us some free stuff. We wanted to review their tape way back when. And I remember that. I decided to not do that.
We're you should have done that because
in between stuff. Yeah. I think I brought it up at one point.
Man.
We were just kind of like,
I
brought it up at one point, and whoever was doing the reviews didn't want to review the tape.
I wanted to review some tape, dude, because you know what? I picked some of this tape up.
Or maybe I just forgot to bring it up.
I picked some of this tape up at Target. It's pretty legit.
Focus! Ben! Why do I need this tape?
It's good, man. You know, you can apply it anywhere.
But you said I needed it.
You need it, yeah.
You need it, dude. It's tape.
Is that going to help me sort my collection? I'm just going to tape it on the walls and just...
Yes!
Yes, you can condense stuff.
Just tape it, dude.
You know, just tape it.
And then it'll be like, it will fall.
No, so what you do is you apply this Lego tape to like any surface. Doesn't matter how you do it. It could be on your wall, on your ceiling, on a table or whatever, on top of some flat surface. And then you just, you know, stack whatever you want in it. Display your minifigures on it.
It's going to be a hard no from me then, but I'm sure there's people out there that,
well, you know what? Maybe why can't it just be a soft no?
Because it's a hard no on me, because I like making creations that are not attached to any sort of furniture or ceiling or wall, and all my minifigures are on this custom-made Tribune in my cupboard already, so there's not really any use out there for me, you know? So
guys, okay, I want to talk about what I have real quick. Can I talk about
Are you going to use your webcam for it?
No, I'm not.
Okay, that's good. Now we can continue.
I'm not. The reason I was talking about the webcams, I recently got Lego Batman Series 2 CMFs after not doing anything not buying anything related to Lego for a bit, to conserve my budget because school started again and you can't buy a lot of Lego. Well, I got them and I've been opening them while you guys have been talking, and these are really, really cool. The ones I've gotten so far, and some of them are blind, some of them I felt. I got General Zod, which is the character I really wanted.
Nice.
And Jor-El. I got the Killing Joker, I just opened, and it is super cool. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
wait, they made that?
Yeah. Well, so I'll post the picture of. Hold on.
Post a picture of all of them, man.
Yeah, give me 1 second to put the Lego Batman stuff. But basically, there's a whole bunch. There's a whole set of all the minifigures, and one of them is the CMF. I think it's Joker Beach Fun or something like that. The actual name where it is. Basically, it's like the Joker, but he's
I did not notice
you see what
that.
I'm talking about? Okay.
Yeah.
I totally remember that part in Killing Joke where he had the floaty. That's my favorite part. Very menacing.
Well, I mean, you know.
It's basically Killing Joker. I mean, he just needs the hat. If they give him like a beach hat mold that still has his hair sticking out or something, that'd be pretty cool.
Let me see if I can find where the
Like you just get Dolphin. With one of
I love the Black Canary minifig. She's screaming into the microphone.
I hope I got her too. I think I did, but I don't know. This is the Killing Joke Joker. So this is a beach. The Killing Joker.
Is this like a very known comic? Something?
Yeah. This might be the most famous Batman.
The palm trees are red.
It's essentially like the Joker origin story.
Yeah,
he started out on the beach. Like what?
No,
there's more to it.
So there's a lot of stuff that happens in the story. One of the things that happens is that the Joker shows up, and in this comic, the girl that's in front of him is Barbara Gordon, Batgirl, and he shoots Batgirl through the spine and paralyzes her for life. It was a very iconic storyline that had a lot of ramifications, and to a lot of people, it is the definitive Batman story.
It's a very terrible Batgirl, though.
Oracle.
Can't walk.
Well, he came to Commissioner Gordon's house. He didn't know that his daughter was Batgirl. He just wanted to hurt Commissioner Gordon.
Oh, okay. Neat.
So yeah, and in the comic, he wants to like kind of tear Commissioner Gordon and make him a supervillain, and basically thinks that if he like murders his kid, then he'll go crazy and stuff.
It's pretty dark.
Yeah, it's pretty dark.
It's dark.
But
that's Batman for you.
The actual Joker minifigure, Meso is right. It's red palm tree leaves instead of the green one, but it's very, very similar to.
I can definitely see the
resemblance.
Palm trees is unforgivable for me. Would not buy.
I got General Zod, and I have the Atomic Skull, which is actually a really cool one.
That one I would buy.
Yeah, it's got one thing you can really see in this image. It's got printing on the side of both the arms and the legs, and it's really cool. So
that's
I
nice.
like it. I like it a lot.
Some of these are way more complex than others. Like the Zod minifigure is really cool if you like Zod, but like his legs are pretty plain. He's got some cool stuff in his arm, but that's about it. But it's classic Zod. It's not the Man of Steel Zod.
Yeah.
Huh. All right, so that's neat. So with that said, that's what everyone got. That's cool. So now we're gonna move into the news docket, and first up from
Bricks.
Recently, there is a change in a Lego set that we got from. We got some news from the upcoming Toy Fair, and there's a set that was scheduled to be released, the Las Vegas architecture set, but one of the buildings are being removed, and it's essentially just being changed, and there's going to be a delay in that set. And do you guys have any thoughts on this? You guys were anticipating this set? You guys were looking forward to this a lot?
I didn't even know it was coming out.
I didn't know it existed.
I heard it was coming out.
But hey, that's pretty cool. It's definitely interesting that they would acknowledge a tragedy like that and make a change to a set in light of it.
I think it's the first time this has ever happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, like, well, it's an interesting thing just because it involved the building. The building is still there, Obviously, it was a great national tragedy, but like, if something, if Lego had done this several years ago with another tragedy such as 9/11, in which a building was taken down, I can see the direct need to remove this building from this set kind of as soon as possible following this tragedy. This one, I also understand why they did it, but It is. I don't know what they're going to replace it with. Do we have any like?
I would presume they would just crop it out entirely.
Right.
Which would be
I'm
weird.
sure they're going to replace it with another building.
It says in the thing it says
in
replace
Las
another
Vegas.
building.
Maybe
Brickset reports that they're replacing it with another building. I believe it's the one in. I mean, whichever one it is, I believe it's the one like on the second to the second building from the left. But that's a huge chunk of that set that would be not there. So I'm pretty sure they're just going to replace it with a different building.
I hope that works out.
Yeah. You know, I totally see why they did it. It's an interesting discussion about how if Lego is, do they mean for these sets to be timeless in that sense?
Mm-hmm.
You know, because this is a very big tragedy, and you know, and I completely back Lego's reasoning for doing it. But if they were to make this set in 5 years again, would the same stipulations apply? You know, right now the tragedy is just tied to the location of the building. It was not necessarily something that you know. So like, no, it's just it's an interesting,
it's a very modern concern.
Yeah,
yeah.
But I do actually think that Lego is moving less. They're kind of moving away from these sets must last forever, and they're more into the realm of re-releases and redesigns on a consistent basis. I mean, just look at Star Wars. I know it's not an apt comparison, but no set model truly lasts forever. There are so many updates
no set
and
is like
revisions.
future-proof.
No, yeah, I bet they'll do a whole other wave of architecture sets about all these same locations in a decade, and they'll re-release them all completely differently.
Possibly. That could very well be true. I often wonder if like with places like New York, right? There are things that are iconic about New York that's probably not going to change. The Statue of Liberty is always going to be there. You know, and that's going to be if they re-released New York, they would still include that part of that set there, right? So, and there's other things in New York as well. They could change what they selected, but there's certain things that are iconic. You can't change it. Golden Gate Bridge always going to be around if they do a Lego San Francisco. So, I don't know.
It is very interesting, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
It's very weird.
It's the first
situation.
Again, it's the first time this has happened. In relation to a public tragedy, and Lego hasn't been doing architecture for too long, so this is like the timing of it was unfortunate.
Yeah,
but
it is what it is.
So you guys know that they are changing that set, and it's going to be delayed, I believe, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
until
delayed
September.
until September.
So it's still coming out. It's just delayed.
All right.
What's next on the docket?
Moving on, we are into some dependent on who you are and what your preferences are. This is bad or delightful news. Nexo Knights is officially ending, or it's basically we know it's done and done. And actually, I was speaking to some Norwegian retailers, and I was like asking around about like what's happening with Nexo Knights because I didn't see it anywhere. And the last wave of Nexo Knights isn't even coming to Norway at all.
No way.
So that kind of sealed the deal. So I kind of already felt this coming, and a lot of people have felt this coming. So those Nexo Knights, those green vampire techno dudes, that's the very last Nexo Knights sets ever. And the silver lining that a lot of people are thinking when they are hearing this news is that once Nexo Knights is out, that means we might get
Exo Force
or Castle back. We're not going to get Exo Force. That's not happening. They hate it as much as BIONICLE. It's a pipe thing. But yeah, people are thinking we might get classic, not classic, but like just a general castle theme back. Or
I don't want people to be disappointed, so people should not count their chickens. But hopefully it works out.
I love counting chickens, though.
What are your guys' thoughts on this?
I have very mixed opinions on this. I'm gonna
Let's talk about it. Yeah,
I'm gonna do what I like to do for all themes nowadays. I'm going to grade this theme's performance on what I like to call the BIONICLE scale to determine how bad of a failure it actually was.
Okay.
So let's take a look. When I'm judging this, Ninjago is obviously the modern benchmark for a very successful theme because it ballooned in popularity.
Adventure theme.
Came back after a cancellation, making a movie, all that jazz. BIONICLE is the definition of G2 rather is a modern failure in the sense that it was projected for 3 years, it only lasted for 2. And then for action themes, you obviously have the 3-year benchmark where they say, okay, it's going to be a 3-year line, then we reevaluate how it's going to continue from there. Chima lasted a full 3 years. Chima was the last, it was the action theme, I can't even talk. It's the action theme before this, the one that was supposed to be Ninjago's successor. It lasted a full 3 years or 6 waves. Nexo Knights came very close. It technically did get 3 years, but it only got 5 waves. That puts it firmly in the middle between BIONICLE, which got 4, Chima, which got 6. So it a lot of people going crazy about how badly it did. I do not think it performed wildly poorly compared to their expectations, just not enough to resume production or continue past their allotted point. Now, not coming to Norway is a very interesting thing. That obviously does mean something unfortunate happened.
Probably not coming to a lot of European countries.
Probably not coming to most. And I do think there was another wave planned. I see a bunch of people talking about things they saw in concept art pictures or even just in the show. There were plans to conclude the Techno Vampires wave with new minifigures and new sets. The app had a lot of stuff that isn't going to come to pass, I guess. So it's going to come down to guesswork, really, about why it was canceled.
So you're talking about the BIONICLE scale, and this is just, it's not what people personally feel. It's not an objective scale on the sense that like this is if a theme was good or bad. It's
Correct.
Just what has Lego decided how long this theme should stay around. BIONICLE was canceled prematurely. Ninjago was extended indefinitely.
Yep.
So those are our two benchmarks right now, right?
Yes. This was squarely in the middle of an underperforming theme.
Nexo Knights and Chima are very interesting because I feel like they're given a lot of good chances to succeed, and I don't necessarily know why they don't. In terms of like, don't be prolonged into the juggernaut that is Ninjago. I mean, like, I know Lego has a 3-year pitch, right? And that's what they normally do. Is Nexo Knights being canceled prematurely?
Yes. Because
okay,
it
so
does
it
not
is.
see its 3 years took. A lot of people get confused about the differences between years and waves. A full 3-year theme consists of 6 waves, one in the winter,
Right.
one in the summer. Chima got that. Chima was not canceled prematurely. Chima fulfilled its 3 years.
The last wave was not released in the US, right?
Construction only. The system sets were released in the US.
Okay. All right.
Nexo Knights only has 5. And its 5th wave is not being released in Norway. So it has performed worse than Chima. We know
Probably
that.
not just Norway, though.
I mean, it could have been just like a thing where it performed as well, but they're doing, they're cleaning up shop because Lego has seen some financial issues recently.
Perhaps. I can tell that even just with word of mouth and popular opinion, Nexo Knights never really took off in any meaningful way. There was never much talk about it. There was never fanfare or hoopla whenever sets came out for it. It was just, oh, these are cool. I wish they were classic space or classic castle. Let's move on.
That's very much the AFL opinion. I don't think we have any
right. Well, I mean,
going around saying that.
Even among
though,
kids, it did not become a phenomenon.
I would say that, I agree with you, Meso. I would have said the same thing about Ninjago from the TFL, AFL side of things while it was still going on for the first initial 3 years.
Ninjago was getting accolades, though. Winning Best in Show at Toy Fair. Yeah,
stocks on Nexo Knights. Love it, hate it. Oh, never mind.
X is back.
Sorry, yeah, you're roboting out, X. But I do believe that Nexo Knights won a award for the innovative use of the app and the and the toy. I'm not 100% sure on that, and I don't know if it was the best of show at Toy Fair or anything. But I think they won a award or something like that.
The app was definitely their defining contribution that it's going to be remembered for.
And I don't know. I don't know. One thing that's really important, I guess, one thing that Lego is trying to figure out, and it'd be well for us to try to figure out too. What makes a line succeed versus a line fail? What did Ninjago have that Nexo Knights didn't? That Chima didn't?
Good question.
Because there has to be something.
Wait,
something.
what Nexo Knights had, but Chima what?
No. Ninjago has something. Yeah, no. I'm saying that Ninjago has something, and Nexo Knights and Chima don't.
Theming.
Is it theming?
I am not 100% on this, but like that would be like my best guess if I had a gun to my head. Because the thing is that it's very the Ninjago thing was really cool because they had something out there that people hadn't already capitalized on. You know, Transformers, robots. You know, but ninjas are cool. You know, everyone thinks that's like a cool concept.
How long had it been since there was
balance.
a Lego Ninja theme? You know.
There's been many Ninjas themes, and and it's also different from a lot of themes that they've done. And the thing with Nexo Knights, I think, is that the theme was a bit in confusion as to like what it was, you know, because it was kind of sci-fi. Yeah. It was sci-fi, but it was kind of castle, and it was kind of like a very weird theme.
It was also fantasy.
Yeah, and it was also like there was a lot there, and it wasn't very.
I feel like 100... it was too similar to Ninjago. In that aspect.
Yeah, I think that too, because that's what a lot of people are saying is that the sort of crazy vehicles and enemies and everything, that's kind of their shtick.
The mix of different genres, you know, it's like it's about knights, but there's a bunch of this and that, and then with Ninjago, it's a very similar story. Yeah, sure, it's about ninjas, but we got mechs, we got like race cars.
One
snake
thing
people.
Prentice mentioned in the chat that like he didn't know why they would make a new story theme while they already had Ninjago. And I don't know if I necessarily agree with that in the sense. I do agree that like Nexo Knights might have been too similar to Ninjago, and that's what caused the downfall, but like that's what made it not as unique. But at the same time, I don't know if like having two story themes at the same time ruined something.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I think it's just the fact that Nexo Knights was so similar to Ninjago and arguably a little bit inferior to Ninjago, because Ninjago, what it has over Nexo Knights by far is just the years of a following, you know, years of establishment. It's been out longer, people love it more, you know, people still collect it and everything. It's got a movie, It's got more promotion than Nexo Knights. It's like the same thing, but it's like comparing Hero Factory to BIONICLE, you know.
I don't know. Those were never out at the same time, though.
They weren't technically, but I don't think Hero Factory performed nearly as well as BIONICLE did.
No.
G1? Yeah, I mean...
G1 or G2?
That being said, Hero Factory did outlast the 3 years.
It did.
Right?
It did,
but it was also the only construction theme. Like, I feel like I think the biggest issue wasn't with Nexo Knights itself. It was more about Ninjago still being present. Like, as you said, if a kid already was attached to Ninjago and grew up with Ninjago, why there's no big reason for them to get invested in Nexo Knights.
Because what they would get with Nexo Knights, they would essentially get with Ninjago anyway. And Ninjago sets, I would personally say, are much better than Nexo Knights sets.
That's in general, though.
Huh.
I still feel like, because if I have to boil it down, there's something else about Nexo Knights, but I will let John say his thing first.
Well, no, I'm just trying to think, like, I don't... Then again, I guess I am thinking from a story perspective. I was saying that I don't think kids necessarily need one, like, they don't watch just one show and not watch any other shows. You can have two concurrent shows going.
Yeah,
but I guess what I'm
taking story into account at all, because story is not what saved BIONICLE.
Expensive product.
It's a set, right? If you're trying to decide between if you want the new Ninjago set and the Nexo Knights set, that is a very real thing for kids.
Chances
parents
are
only have a limited budget.
Hey, I really like the Green Ninja, and there's this new cool set with the Green Ninja in it. You know, why would I want this other weird looking car that's blue, orange, silver, and all that with a character that I'm not already familiar with?
That's the point I was gonna make. You make a very good point, X. It's like my reason why Nexo Knights is gone. The sets just weren't there. That's not to say they weren't quality. Everybody who's bought some has said, wow, these are pretty cool. But it has always been the thing where no one is impressed by their pictures, at least internally within our group. This has been our experience. Someone buys one. Oh, wow, it has this really awesome function that wasn't advertised at all. Oh, wow, it's pretty neat, but I had no clue it could do X or Y.
Like, oh, wow, it looks way better in person than it does on the box.
Their quality was not immediately evident from advertising, and I don't know why that is. I think a lot of it has to do with the distracting jumble of colors that they never fully got ironed out. That's been the number one critique from day one, and I think that was all the way through the end. I think that's definitely it. None of the hero vehicles were appealing from an aesthetic standpoint. They clashed, they conflicted, they just didn't look as good as other action themes, particularly Ninjago, which has consistent coloration for each of its main character. You do not have a ninja color that runs alongside their own independent colors, for instance. There is no trans-orange equivalent. Now, they were designed well, sure. They had tons of cool features, transformations, alternate models, alternate builds. Even the most recent wave of sets had cool stuff like the Berserker Bomber, where it had a Mixel mech which can fold up.
Had the best mech.
Had the mech inside of the mech. You know, they have tons of cool ideas with Nexo Knights, but they're not presented in a way that kids will say, wow, I want this instead of this other thing.
Nick,
and yeah.
Well, everything I've said up to this point has been like the general consensus and like what I think is what turned them down in terms of like the overall appeal and everything. Personally, I 100% think that I hate that Nexo Knights is ending. I really love the theme just because of everything it brought to the table. I think they are the definition of missed potential because they started out incredibly great, I feel. If you look at these sets, which I posted here, these are great sets, and they brought something really cool, which we've never seen before in terms of the villains. Like the second Nexo Knights came out, the first thing that came to mind was, what are they going to do with the villains? What are they going to introduce? What are they going to fight? And I thought that was really cool. But I feel the killer, what essentially ended Nexo Knights, was the second wave, because it basically filled in something that was already out there, and that everything was gray. And if you want something that's just total gray, you can just buy Star Wars sets. So there's no reason to buy all these Nexo Knights sets. And they were bland, and I am going to continue that first two waves.
And he's getting worse and worse.
X has achieved Nexo power.
Become Maryland 2.0.
Nexo Trooper.
Am I still?
You're still doing it. It's going up and down.
In a moment.
Yeah.
Am I understandable?
Yeah, you're better now. Go on.
Now
Okay.
you are. You were not while you were going crazy.
If you look further online and you go to this thing called the Book of Monsters, it shows you it shows you deeper into this whole Nexo Knight world and all these cool villains. And I'm just going to show you this one picture right here. If Nexo Knights was successful and they got to the point where they introduced these villains, that would be amazing. That would be incredibly cool. They could go deeper with their lore. It could expand, and it could turn something great.
But I think really cool.
Yeah, right. You know, they had
mushroom
really cool people as well. There's so many cool concept of characters they can do, and we haven't had this sort of like high fantasy enemies that we have, and they just wasted that on these gray, weird looking things, because like the good guys, they're nothing cool. The good guys in Nexo Knights, they did not offer anything else that Ninjago already offered. They have like really weird, wacky vehicles in horrendous color schemes. You know, Ninjago got a ton of those. You know, it's crazy, and it's a fantasy castle like theme, and we never had anything on the sort of like a dragon. You know, they could have had something cool go there. We had some cool mechs. And it just feels like wasted potential. And everyone celebrating that Nexo Knights is ending and thinking that we will guaranteed to get like space or castle is I wouldn't get my hopes up.
You're setting yourself up for disappointment, because I went on Jang's video about Nexo Knights ending, and I was looking at the comments, and he pointed out something very interesting. He mentioned a semi-realistic Lego medieval castle theme was actually ever present from 1978 through 2010, followed by a sharp tapering off through 2011, and a single wave in 2013. Lego, as a company that's out to maximize profits, would not have actively pulled away from that theme if it was still selling well. It was not, and it still wouldn't today. And I find myself agreeing with that line of thinking.
I don't think too many kids are too big on the whole castle and princesses and dragons are already out there.
It might be the fantasy thing is like, Yeah,
Older
but that's the
collectors
thing.
are,
It didn't
but
appeal to older collectors.
90% of Lego sale basically in US are from the kids. Like AFOs, there's no, it's
I think
Lego's
going straight fantasy is the way to go. I don't think traditional medieval castle by itself will be enough to pull.
Yeah.
Right.
So to close off on this with Nexo Knights here, these are just gonna we should go around and just give our closing thoughts. Otherwise, we'll just sit here for 3 hours. But I will go out and say that Nexo Knights brought these immensely cool mech frames with the ball joints. That's amazing. They also brought a lot of very small pieces. They also, for example, the eyes in the dragon Ben was talking about earlier, those are from Nexo Knights. They introduced a ton of great pieces, and most notably a lot of the pieces that was in this very last wave, which you will see in probably a year from now when I actually start posting mocks. I'll show you all the crazy cool stuff that you can do with all these Nexo Knights pieces, and the people celebrating Nexo Knights' downfall will cry in despair because they won't be able to use those pieces because they didn't buy those sets. Those are my closing thoughts. Next.
Wow. My closing thoughts. I was never really impressed by Nexo Knights. Aside from the sets, like X, I recognized the first wave did a lot of great things, had a lot of great ideas, particularly the villains and the Fortrex. Those sets are going to go down in history as really cool contributions. I feel like very little past that point was memorable. I watched 5 episodes of the show, and while it was very competent and very well made, it didn't really, again, offer anything that Chimo or Ninjago did not already offer you. And I think that's really the problem, and what LEGO is going to have to deal with action themes going forward is giving them distinct identity. So they actually have a reason to stand on the market and say, hey, buy me. And I'm very curious where they go with it in the future.
Agreed.
John? Ben?
Here's what I think about it. I think that Nexo Knights was poised to kind of be a successor or possibly a continuation of the original Lego theme, and the idea that they're selling these concepts and stories alongside of these sets. It's a thing that's been around since BIONICLE. BIONICLE was, I feel, the first big hit Lego had that had an original story that went on with the sets. Then Jago is the successor to BIONICLE, and so far it's been very successful. However, with the way things are going out right now, the Lego Ninjago movie and even the Lego Batman movie underperformed the box office. There was a point in time where Lego was poised to invest a lot into new original story series, which, as a fan that likes the original stories, that's what I'm looking forward to the most. I know, obviously a lot of people who are mockists look forward to the parts, and I do as well, but not as much. For me, the story content is what kind of keeps me vested and interested in a lot of these themes. And Nexo Knights, unfortunately, I don't know what it was. I did, and it wasn't even that I disliked the episodes. The show didn't grab me as well. And I don't know how everything's going to turn out. I think Lego should turn to traditional castle theme. I do think that there is a market for doing more stuff like, the blacksmith. You remember that the Lego idea set that never, I don't think it went past the thing, but like having a blacksmith or kind of like building on the medieval theme and making more complex stuff with that stuff may be suited towards that adult market, because from what it seems, kids aren't really digging the castle stuff. We'll see if they bring back traditional castle as a line, if it does well, but maybe that's the architecture and stuff isn't driving well with them. So there you go.
Those are some very short, close thoughts. How about you, Vem?
Nothing I can say that hasn't already been said. I basically agree with all the points that John and Meso just made. Except I do care less about story. I'll say that. I'm a bit of a simple guy. If that looks cool, I'll get it.
I have one final observation.
What is that, Meso?
When I recall saying that the battle suits would be the future of construction if they were evolved to a point where they could actually function in that way.
Go on.
Well, they never got to evolve. I'm curious if other themes will take that potential and run with it.
Well, we have seen the covering armor piece on those in other sets than Nexo Knights, so there might
I know
be
there's the Mr. Freeze mech that was very similar.
It was not, it was similar, but it didn't use. it was kind of more similar to the Sentinel from the X-Men set more than anything.
Yeah. So I'm very curious how that element of Nexo Knights will be established going forward.
Yeah. So I have absolutely no sense of time or how long we're going for because we're not recording audio.
We got time to talk about Nuremberg, and then we'll probably begin wrapping it up.
We should probably mention the Cryoshell too, just briefly.
Oh yeah,
let's do it.
Real quick, they came back. Cryoshell came back 2018 with a new kind of a re-recording, I guess, of Gravity Hurts. It has they have like a full symphonic orchestra behind them now. It's actually a cinematic version of Gravity Hurts. Apparently it was a collaboration between the Budapest Art Orchestra and Cryoshell. And then Christine, the singer for Cryoshell, sang the lyrics this time.
I like it.
That's nice. I had all the kind of songs from Cryoshell and everything. I mean, everything related to BIONICLE with those songs that always bring a nostalgic feel whenever listen to those in cars. And
I always get a lot of nostalgia from listening to just the very original rendition of Gravity Hurts.
Right.
Oh yeah, the first one.
This one's really good too. I like the orchestra. I like orchestra covers of anything. So this one kind of really stood out to me. They are releasing. If you guys remember, Cryoshell was originally having a Kickstarter. They are no longer doing that. They are just recording and releasing their next album, Next to Machines, sometime in 2018. From what Christian Faber posted on his website, the plan is to release a full album sometime this spring, and actually also have a limited vinyl edition, which I might get because I do like vinyl.
It. I like it lots.
Cool.
And also merchandise.
Cryoshell. Surviving.
Hopefully they don't get canceled in 2 years.
Oh my god.
Well, they're independent now, so it'll be like a whole deal.
Neat. Great. So, moving on from Cryoshell, and
let's talk about Nuremberg.
Yeah, first I want to talk about these 3 Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom sets, which they revealed.
yeah.
Which are really interesting. They revealed 1 Duplo one Lego Juniors, and 1 Blue Helicopter Pursuit. And so let's start with the Blue Helicopter Pursuit. So this is sort of like a militarized helicopter, which is probably one of the better looking helicopters. They sort of look very goofy.
It does look pretty good.
Yeah, this looks really good, right? And it just kind of has less of that very has a more grounded feel. I feel with the little cage thing going back there. I feel like that's very Jurassic Park-esque.
Right.
Brings me a lot of old feels, and there's the raptor again. Only seeing predators here. I really hope that more of the other sets here bring some non-predators as well, because I feel like those dinosaurs are very
most
interesting.
Definitely.
Awesome.
But I'm not crossing my fingers. These are I think kids are very big on the big predators, with the sharp teeth and everything. What are you guys' thoughts on this helicopter pursuit set? You think you're in the groove?
I do like the helicopter. I don't know if I'll pick up this set. Honestly, what would sell me these sets would mostly be the dinosaurs, and I already got a Velociraptor figure.
Yeah, if you buy a lot of these sets, you should have so many raptors at this point.
Yeah, I'm cool. I would have hoped that they introduced a new mold in this, some other different kind of dinosaur, but whatever. But the helicopter is cool. I think that kind of justifies the purchase of a little bit.
This is very good price to part ratio for license sets. It's $40 for 397 pieces.
Yeah.
Oh wow, that is pretty good.
That is immensely good for.
We're gonna see this in all of these sets, so
then.
I might as well bring it up now. I don't necessarily fault the dinosaurs because they have the same level of articulation that a minifigure has. That being said, I find them really disappointing. To be honest, they're just giant mounds of plastic. They have a little Lego thing on top, and that's it. They could just be a junky toy you get for your Happy Meal.
Yeah, I definitely prefer the creators' dinosaurs.
Yeah, if they had brick-built dinosaurs in this, that would change everything.
Yeah, because they have a lot of very tiny slopes that you can make very articulate details. So I don't think it's out of the question. But I do think
up the price a good bit.
Yeah, that's another thing.
If I was a brick-built Raptor, this would probably become a $50 set instantly.
And I remember when Dino Attack came out, and I was a little kid. and the big helicopter with the big dinosaur in it. Like
Okay,
those things
yeah.
are legitimately cool for kids.
That was a great set because you not only did you get the big, cool looking T-Rex, but the helicopter itself was also really cool.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, like which set you guys talking about again?
So let me pull up a picture because I barely remember the name of it. I think it was called the Typhoon. But it was really cool. It was a very different helicopter design.
Oh yeah, we'll definitely see how Lego's aged in that comparison. Let's
to see this.
Here's the picture.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah.
There you go, yeah.
Oh boy. Oh, I haven't seen this set in ages.
Yeah, man. I had this built for the longest time. I loved this set.
Game. There's an online game you can play where you could play all the vehicles and shoot the dinosaurs.
To play that. It was fun. But now you get that, right? And then you compare it to the sets that we have here. Like, are we ready to talk about the T-Rex set?
Yeah, let's talk about the T-Rex set.
The T-Rex it's literally if you buy the set, you're buying it for the T-Rex. That's all this is. The repackaging, it's 150 pieces, $50.
You know, I got excited.
No.
Wait a second. What?
You want me?
No.
$50 for 150 pieces.
That's garbage.
That has to be.
I didn't even see the price. I mean, I didn't even see the price to part ratio. I was just fixated on the gate because the first thing I saw was, oh, cool, we finally get a gate of the park in a set. Wait,
$50
it's not even
that.
It's
disgusting. It's like a sticker or something.
This is for juniors, by the way. All of the sets, like this is not news. Like they all have this sort of gate.
It's for young kids.
This is juniors. This is juniors. But basically, they've repackaged the T-Rex
values were
from past waves, and it's like if you didn't get the T-Rex this wave, then you could get it this way. You see this all the time with Star Wars. They'll release a high-profile figure in a set, and it will go on for a while, and then they'll later like sell it in a smaller set. And so the appeal to buy that smaller set is like, oh, I can get the figure in this one as well. This time, we're doing it with the T-Rex.
But okay, I want to go back to this other set. All right, Blue's Helicopter Pursuit comes with a cool helicopter, comes with Chris Pratt and a Velociraptor. This is $40. Okay, the one we just saw, $40.
397 pieces. 397
pieces, which is really good for that price point.
Then
this is $50. Are you sure we didn't get the prices mixed around?
No. I have seen this on multiple sites. It is $50.
That's disgusting.
That is garbage. Honestly, this is highway robbery.
Tiny baby T-Rex.
That's
cool. Baby T-Rex is easily worth $20 by itself.
That T-Rex will probably be $20 on Bricklink if it only comes in this set.
This is honestly really disappointing. This is just, come on, Lego.
Come on. I mean, it's like I get it's a junior set, but wouldn't that mean it's a cheaper, smaller set? Why is it $50?
No, you know what? They've done this before with other junior sets where the price to part ratio was garbage.
Is kind of like the thing with junior sets is that they actually don't. They just have very bigger pieces or like more unique molds, so they don't really make up for the price tag with parts. They just have these big parts. They're not very good parts by piece ratio. These junior sets, basically,
not very good.
That's what I'm saying.
Not very good is an understatement.
They're terrible across the board. If you go and look at past junior sets with Ninjago and Marvel superheroes, etc., they're all pretty bad. They're probably not as bad as this one. I think a lot of the price here goes down.
Like,
X, you're a robot again, dude.
Take a look at this. Take a look at this set right here. How much do you think it is?
Okay, hold up. We're gonna play a little game. We're gonna play a little game.
I don't know.
We're gonna let some people from the live studio audience guess. Maybe
35.
People on the live stream guess.
No. 40.
50.
I'm gonna say this is. I'm also gonna say this is $40, knowing that it's a junior set and what we were talking about. All right. When we see some results go in first before I let's see. 40.
People saying 40.
Kazapar says 40.
Magic's lowballing it at 20.
Magic saying 20. Good grief, Magic. Medarek saying 40. Prentice is saying 30. Wadden says $100 billion. That's not No.
Close.
Close.
So
okay. All right.
the price.
Let's see how many people
is $29.99.
Woo!
Guess how many parts?
How many parts?
172.5.
300.
I don't know. Just hit it with us, man. Wait, we're not going to do this.
137 parts.
Man,
So that's not-
137. But that's still.
Princess wins.
Here's the thing: 137, right? Imagine you add 13 more pieces to that, and you said, "Okay, that's what $20 more. That's about $20."
Yeah, I know, really.
That's what they did. That's literally what they did. 150 pieces for $50, and this doesn't even this stupid set right here. This,
Well,
that
that T-Rex is some pretty large pieces. That's a lot of ABS plastic into that guy.
Not enough.
I don't
say that.
to go back to
That's-
the
I
joke.
will
Not
say
that
that.
much.
I'm not saying that it is justifiable in any means.
If
necessary. I'm
this
just
was
saying that
a
it is.
It's probably just left over
T-Rex.
from the
I
other
could get
Jurassic
that.
World sets. That
I could totally get that. If it was a brick-built T-Rex, I could understand why this set costs so much. You know, the prices, the pieces, and everything would account to it, even though it doesn't
a
seem that.
brick-built T-Rex would definitely justify
This is
it.
just it's garbage. I can't like this is literally.
Garbage.
I think what Lego's doing is that they're pricing these sets really high for the kids, and then like when they get older, then they'll be like, oh, I guess Lego isn't expensive as I thought it was because I paid $50 for a set that has 150 pieces. Good
Guys?
grief,
Good grief, Charlie Brown.
I feel
Charlie Brown.
I feel like a lot of
it's
times,
pretty disgusting.
We're kind of sitting here, and
Yeah.
like just think about like how much we talked about the helicopter, which we considered a very good set, and then how long we talked about this T-Rex here. We it's kind of like a negative drain going on there.
Negativity demands time.
Yeah, but speaking of negativity, we can also move on to the Duplo set, which is
I don't care
22 pieces at $30.
22 pieces.
22 pieces.
That is, to be fair,
22.
that's Duplo. But like,
Yeah.
this is if you're gonna buy toys to your kids, don't Duplo, don't juniors, just go
don't do
right
Duplo.
up to high end and buy them creator sets. That's the
It
best.
would
value.
honestly be better for your
What
money.
if they choke on pieces?
They should definitely call an ambulance.
Their
if
kids
choking.
are dumb then. No.
Wow.
It's called natural selection, Meso. They'll sort
Oh
it
my
out.
god.
Dark. All right.
No, but for real,
Let's move on.
safe around your kids. The Duplo set is not.
Is that a T-Rex or a raptor?
That's a T-Rex.
It's
That's a
supposed
T-Rex.
to be the T-Rex.
Let's hit
Okay.
up our last news topic for the day, X.
The Nuremberg
Yes.
playthrough summary? Yeah.
We
So
didn't
this
get
is
many details, but we did get some.
yeah. There's a little bit of details, but I think one of them that stands out is the Brickheads Go Brick Me set, which we have no pictures or anything. But by
Go
what
Brick
people are
Me.
describing and what they're thinking is that it's basically like a set of brickheads and like a ton of modular parts in terms of you can just make a brickhead figure of yourself, essentially.
Unless
I
I
like
have
to think-
white and like brown bricks to make my skull and my hair, it's not going to happen, and I'm very disappointed.
You guys excited about this? You think this is cool?
No, it won't work for me. Lego can't future-proof my aesthetic.
How about you, John? What do you think?
I wonder what the Go Brick Me skin color is going to be. So far, we've
Or if
gotten
there's
all
going to be
license-
multiple?
There might be multiple. That would be cool. Are they going to overlook Asians again, though? They might.
I don't know.
You never know. They might. Or they might just do a classic yellow skin tone and just be like, oh, you're doing yourself. It could be cool. It could not. Maybe it's. I'll have to see it before I judge as to how it's gonna look. I do like to think that like there's a Danish guy and he was like translating the possible names and like Go Brick Yourself was like one of the things, and some guy was like, actually that's not gonna work. We're gonna do a different branding here. We're gonna make it Go Brick Me instead.
Okay.
Anyhow,
Nice.
I don't know
How about you,
what
Ben?
you just said.
Brickheads, you big on that, then?
I do dabble in some of the
Dabble in the
brickheads.
That's cool. But do you think? Are you excited about this brickhead myself thing? Are you interested in brickheading yourself?
Yeah, man, I would love to brickhead myself.
Nice. We can go brickhead ourselves together because I also want to brickhead myself. You want to. I don't know what I'm doing with my life. Anyway, other sets on list. There's a lot of these are just names. We don't know what to think of them. One of them that's sticking out here, probably all the way at the bottom here, is Lego Ninjago movie. So we're getting another big boy set, which is apparently going to be called the Ninjago City Port.
Yep, Zusammengebaut has broke the news of the particular set.
Gesundheit.
Zusammengebaut.
It will cost £229 and will be available in June. And the model connects to the Ninjago City via Technic pins.
Oh, I kind of want to. I really
want
want
that.
that.
Enclosed building.
Man.
Now, pictures don't exist for it, but
you guys,
we know.
You guys interested in expanding your Ninjago City? Very much so.
I am. I have the Ninjago City. It's
no matter, but what if the set turns out to be terrible, John? Do you still want to buy it?
I mean, on the principle of it, like extending the Ninjago City, I would, and also hypothetically,
it looks underwhelming.
Okay,
even
go
if
on.
it did look underwhelming, I still think that it would carry the Chinese Asian aesthetic. I guess Japanese because it's kind of based off ninjas, but it would.
But what if it
carry
doesn't carry the aesthetic of like looking good?
Yeah, what if it's just a bunch of small buildings?
I think I would hypothetically say I do think
looking so terrible compared to Ninjago City that it just makes the Ninjago City. It drains the goodness of the city, and it looks terrible on the shelf. Someone walks into your room and they see it, and they're like, you know what? I'm out. This is not good. I'm out.
What if someone thinks it actually kind of looks good and extends the city in a meaningful
some of the
way?
parts of it?
What if some of the What if like some of the
it's aesthetic? A pretty expensive parts pack.
It's a pretty expensive parts pack. But what if hypothetically someone got it for free?
What is your hypothetical thoughts on this set that might exist? Ben, what do you think it might?
I don't even know what you're talking about anymore, man.
Ninjago City Port that we totally don't have pictures of.
Yeah, we don't.
Just got a report from Zusammengebaut.
Yeah, we just know the name. Do you have any thoughts?
It sounds like it's going to be a dumb set.
Oh, that's a very bold statement.
It sounds like it better have a lot of minifigures to justify any questionable design choices.
X, you're
like a robot.
You gotta fix yourself, man. You gotta check yourself before you wreck yourself.
This doesn't happen normally. Why does this happen now?
I don't know.
As long as I've known you.
Am I robot still?
No,
you're good.
Okay. So there's a lot of you guys can. We're going to link to probably this article, and you can look through these names yourself. We'll probably get pictures of this later at some point. Like maybe everyone in TTV except for me is going somewhere looking at some new sets. I don't know. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, well, maybe.
All those sets that are showed off. We should probably advertise by the way.
But also, I wanted to say that Pirates Roller Coaster. That's a cool name in and of itself.
Pirates Roller Coaster.
Yeah, that's one of the creator sets. It's going to be 80 pounds, euros. I'm not sure what that sign means. Do you know? I think it's pounds. Is it?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. 80 pounds. And it's going to be a Pirates-themed roller coaster. And that's it. We only have a name. But given that it's creator, it's probably going to be a cool build. And it's probably going to be alternative builds. And I'm looking forward to that.
Well,
you guys
awesome.
got anything here that sticks out for you guys? You guys want to talk about any of these?
No.
I want the Great Wall of China architecture set. That looks cool, and has China in it. So I'm kind of excited about that.
All right.
Nice.
I am excited about the idea of expanding sets. I do like the idea that even if hypothetically this set does not meet X's standards, I do think that it is really cool that they are using like a base, adding things to it. If they did more things like this in the future of the Lego Ninjago movie, I would be very, very happy to continue to extend my Ninjago City. And it actually is a cool idea if you had if you did a whole wave of stuff that could be interconnected like that.
My thoughts are, I like
what if they ever had done that?
I like we have Lego Set DLC. I think we need to now prepare for Lego Set microtransactions.
Well, okay, let me ask you.
They 100% did that. What you're talking about, though, John, with Harry Potter.
Did they really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, the early Harry Potter sets. If I don't know if I can even find a picture, but the early Harry Potter sets, for the first waves or so, you could basically buy any of these sets, and like some of it would be like Snape's classroom, and then you could buy like the hall in which they eat, and you could connect them all together, and you would get the entirety of Hogwarts in the very end.
Interesting. One thing I will, tying back to this thing of that, we're like, oh, they should do a new castle wave or something. What if they did a castle wave that was all built around one castle? And like, there's like the big set would be the big thing in the middle, but all the other sets were actual like small rooms that could connect to this giant thing. And if you got more of them, the bigger and better your castle could look. And then like each new wave would be like either an extension of the castle or even a new castle altogether.
Wouldn't that be interesting?
Kind of an interesting concept. Don't even know if it'd work. That maybe someone probably has thought about before.
Would consider buying.
Yeah, there you go. I want to mention someone in the not the live studio audience, but one of the people of Pleb Nation here in the live chat did mention that Lego is only doing license set because they're a sell-out company. And I want to combat that by saying that got the audience, whoever's buying the Lego sets, aren't buying the original themes. They're buying the license sets. That's why Lego's doing this. If everyone bought the original themes, guess what? We're going to be doing license sets.
They wouldn't have canceled BIONICLE.
They wouldn't have canceled BIONICLE. Wouldn't have canceled Nexo Knights or Chima. The whole reason they're not doing these anymore is because people aren't buying them as much as they want them to. And when it does, they make it indefinite. Like Ninjago, a ton of people liked and bought it and were upset when it ended, and they continued that. So
there you go.
It can't happen. Just hasn't.
I will say though that licensed sets have a very distinct quality to them in terms of the amount of detail they put into their sets. Like if you look at, there's a very distinct difference between the Ninjago movie sets compared to the normal Ninjago sets. Like there's some that like stick out, of course, in the normal Ninjago line, but they generally have a lot more intricate detail and use of smaller parts. And I feel that if they went that extent with detail on more themes, then that could cater themselves to a wider audience, and you could have a lot more, like if you have a Nexo Knight and a Ninjago car, they both just look like cars. But if you put the same level of detail as you see in some of the Marvel sets, for example, in some of their, for example, the VTOL ship that we saw with the war, what was it called? Civil War. That was a really cool ship, and I'd love vehicles like that in a theme that wasn't licensed, and I would buy that. But I will say that John is speaking very truthfully here, in that people very much like these superheroes and names, and they will continue.
We would all buy their sets. We're also all AFOLs.
Yeah,
and like I said, we don't make up a huge majority of
the only sets I buy nowadays.
Yeah,
and we buy them, kids buy them because they love the names and superheroes and everything like that. It's a trend. I don't know. We didn't have this many themes at first with Lego, but they continue to make creator sets. They continue to make classic sets, and worst case scenario, it is Lego, so you can build whatever you want or so decide yourself.
The budget that movie, like especially if you look at the Lego movie sets, Prentice pointed this out in the live feature audience as well. The Lego movie sets are way more detailed and honestly way better designed in almost every aspect. We especially saw this as someone who's been following Ninjago for a while. The ninja and the ninja minifigures in the Lego movie wave were so well designed, just so impeccably designed. I love their designs. And it's something that like this show itself, just even as the original Lego theme, would not have been able to do. I don't think it would have been able to be given that budget and that amount of new molds and everything. So, yeah.
Go ahead and wrap this up, I think.
All right. So this was yet another episode of BrickFeed.
All right.
We'll probably never talk about Nexo Knights again. It's a shame.
We'll talk about Nexo Knights again.
I'm excited to
use that as an example at some point.
Yeah.
Do you guys think they will replace Nexo Knights with this is a yes or no question. Don't talk for 3 hours, John. Do you guys think that they're going to replace Nexo Knights with a sort of new adventure story theme, or do you think they're just going to
yes,
stick
but
with
not
Yeah,
immediately.
I hope so.
Give it a
I
year.
hope they try it
and then
again
yes.
and just
Yeah,
do something
okay.
else.
Everyone's very optimistic. That's
With a
great.
TV show, maybe, hopefully.
Actually, counterpoint. Don't replace it. Elevate elves, because elves is also
Elves
teetering
is
on the
also
edge of
doing- yeah.
cancellation. Its set waves are going smaller and smaller and smaller, and I fear that its end will soon be near. But that theme is quality. Lift it
That
up.
thing was great. Except for the dolls. Too many dolls. Don't
All
like
right,
it.
we're
Yeah,
going to
these
end
don't
on the
do
note
that.
that Elves is amazing and there's no flaws within them. I
None
have
at
been
all.
your host for this episode, might be your host for other episodes as well. We don't know. We'll see what the future holds. I've been EXX Trooper, and
I have been and am and will be Meso.
I am Jonathan Dwan.
I think I'm Ben.
this has
Therefore
been
you are.
BrickFeed episode 87. I will see
All right, we can't hear him. So that's it, everybody. Goodbye. Oh wait, go to Lego Live. It's next week, or not next week, 2 weeks from now. It's from the 16th through the 18th. And me, Ben, Bar, and Meso and AT will all be there. So check that out. We'll be doing some more videos on that very shortly.
Please go to New York. Your stuff.
Please go to New York, guys.
Please.
Goodbye.
Bye.